Hey guys, it's Reality's Edge. It's Lawrence Burchett here. Today, I think I'd like to talk about one of my favorite subjects in the world. Monsters. Specifically, in North America. I have 5 that I'd like to talk about today. I think we're going to start with the Mothman. In November of 1966, in a small town called Point Pleasant, West Virginia, people started seeing a creature that was described as a winged humanoid, and they named him Mothman. For 13 months, Mothman was sighted all over town. They had a munitions plant. It was used during World War II as a munitions store. They call it the TNT plant. And a lot of people saw this creature. And they described him as having kind of leathery wings, no neck, glowing red eyes. Kind of a creepy looking feller. But I mean, back then there was a lot of things creepy. People didn't know what it was. Now, to go along with the Mothman sightings, supposedly there were also Men in Black sightings. People would come show up when somebody would say they heard about, or when somebody would say they seen a Mothman. Men in Black would show up and say, hey, keep your mouth shut. Now, I don't know how much truth there is to that. That could just be a lot of conjecture. You know, stories get told, and it's kind of like playing telephone when we were kids. The further down the line it gets, the more embellished it gets. But the one thing that we do know is that from November of 1966, November 15th to be exact, to December 15th of 1967, this creature was seen all over the Point Pleasant area. And then after the last sighting, right before Christmas, the Silver Bridge collapsed between West Virginia and Ohio. Some people have claimed that it was a harbinger of doom. Some people claim that it was the Mothman that brought it down. Either way, a lot of people died. A lot of lives were ruined. A lot of lives were changed forever. Moving on, my next one I would like to talk about is the Dogman. Now, the Dogman, we can look back throughout, especially the last 100 years with movies and television and stuff. You know, you can look at the werewolf. Basically, the Dogman is a dog that walks around on 2 legs. To my knowledge, it got popular through the story of the Beast of Bray Road. That was research in a book done by an author by the name of Linda Godfrey. And I had never actually heard of the Dogman until this time, but a little bit of research has been done. I've done a little bit of research, and there's actually sightings all over the country. Now, the Beast of Bray Road, that's centered in Wisconsin. But there are sightings all over the country. And a lot of Native American culture has a bipedal canine or a wolf that walks upright or something like that. I'm not 100% sure about this, but a lot of people claim to see it. There's a website. It's actually a research group. It's the North American Dogman Project. If you look at that, there are actually photos where people have photos of what they claim to be Dogman. And some of these photos, man, I tell you what, they're great. You know, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at, but I can tell you this, I wouldn't want to meet that guy. Not at all. He would scare me. My next one is the story of the Wendigo. Now, this one's kind of a strange one. Once again, we're going back into Native American lore. The Wendigo is basically a human being, or was a human being, that started to survive by eating of the flesh of other human beings. This is the way I understand it. I may be off, and if I am off, somebody correct me, please. But the Wendigo started by being a man that, fed off the flesh of other human beings, and an evil spirit got into him, and he started to change. Kind of an ugly little sucker, right? Well, not little, they're big and strong, supposedly, and hard to kill. I'm not really an expert on it, but I like hearing Wendigo stories, but supposedly, they're hard to kill. That's about all I know about that. My next monster is the Skinwalker. The Skinwalker's more out west, is where you hear more about the Skinwalkers. And a Skinwalker, some of the stories differ. Some of them are that it was a shaman that kind of went to the dark, went a more dark path, turned evil, whatever. And he's a shapeshifter. He's a human, but he can shapeshift. And some of the stories that I've read say that whatever the skin of whatever animal he wears, he can turn into. I've also heard stories where it's a curse. So somebody will go and they'll curse somebody to have a Skinwalker messing with them or kill them or whatever. And with the Skinwalker, it'll track its prey and screw with people forever. Once again, yeah, that's kind of a scary deal. I wouldn't want to meet that dude either. The Skinwalker was really made famous with the Skinwalker Ranch out in Utah. And nothing was said about the ranch until you got into about, I want to say it was the late 80s, early 90s. Family bought the ranch. They were going to raise cows. And all sorts of crazy stuff started happening. They had cattle mutilations. They lost a significant portion of their herd when they started. And there was a wolf that they seen that was really big. He got shot a couple of different times, didn't die, took off. They had prize registered bulls, all three of them shoved into a little trailer. You guys got to look this story up. Man, it's a crazy story. Now, in the late 90s or early 2000s, billionaire by the name of Robert Bigelow bought the Skinwalker Ranch, and he actually had a research group that he funded called NIDS, the National Institute of Discovery Sciences, I believe is what that stands for. And they started doing a lot of research and what have you out there. Now, I don't know who owns it now, but I do believe Bob Bigelow sold the ranch. But really interesting story. I'd say get in there, read that, check that one out. Now, the next one and the last one is one of my absolute favorites. This one actually come to prominence in the late 60s after a video filmed by a couple of guys out hunting and backcountry horseback riding and what have you in Northern California. Bigfoot, the Sasquatch. I love reading about Sasquatch. I love talking about Sasquatch. Came to prominence with a video that was shot that has been named the Patterson-Gimlin film. Now, throughout the years, there have been several people come forward and said, oh, it's fake, it's real. There's been a big argument about it. There was even a guy come out and said that they filmed him and he was wearing a monkey suit, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. Back then, the best monkey costume they had was being used in Planet of the Apes, and it looked nothing like the creature in the Patterson-Gimlin film. Matter of fact, we're not going to call that creature a creature. We're going to call her by her name. And I say her because her name is Patty. The reason I say her, and the reason they named her Patty, she was a female. Could be told by boobs. And you could see the muscles moving when she's walking, taking these giant strides. Now, almost every Native American tribe has some story about the wild men of the forest and stuff like that. And there are so many people that have come across Bigfoot, that have had experiences and sightings of Bigfoot. Bigfoot's like the holy grail for me. I tell you what, if I ever met a Bigfoot, if I was out in the woods doing whatever I do out in the woods, which not much, I don't go out in the woods too much anymore. But if I were ever out there and I saw a Bigfoot, I could probably die a happy man. Because at that point, everything in my life has been fulfilled. Too many people have experiences with Bigfoot to say that it doesn't exist. More importantly, there are people that do research Bigfoot, and they call it things like the North American great ape or the big monkey. Well, let me ask you a question now. If this is just a monkey, why is it that it's there one minute and gone the next? Me personally, I think it's something very intelligent. Maybe even as intelligent as us. I think it's completely possible also that Bigfoot may be more than just a physical flesh and blood creature. There may be something spiritual about this creature. Most of the Native Americans and First Nations here in North America, most of them say that it is some sort of spiritual being. You know, I about have to agree with them. And why is it that the majority of footprints that are found, most of them are the right foot? It's a rare occasion from what I've noticed that people show a left foot. I don't know. But like I said, Bigfoot, yeah, man, that'd be my holy grail. Well, maybe aliens. You know, if a UFO landed in my backyard and I could walk up to it and they come out kind of like Close Encounters of the Third Kind and I could wave at them, shake their hand, man, I tell you, that'd be awesome. So, guys, have any of you had any encounters, or do any of you have any stories about any of the creatures that I spoke about today? Or any questions? I mean, I pretty well give everything as far as I know it, my opinions anyway, and what little bit I've read. If you have any comments, hit me up. Has anybody seen a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot? If you have, hit me up in a comment. If you don't feel comfortable hitting me up in a comment, you know, send me an email. Any of the other cryptid creatures that I spoke of, the monsters, Dogman, the Beast of Bray Road, Wendigo, Skinwalker, Mothman. Oh, on a side note, sorry, I forgot about this. Back to Mothman real quick. Somewhere about 2017, there started being sightings around the Chicago area. Now, I don't know what's up with that, but we'll keep looking. Keep watching the news, because occasionally stuff like that gets out. If you like today's video, hit the thumbs up, man. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me some sort of feedback. Comments. Hit the subscribe button. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. Somebody is going to like this, man. I know I'm a little rough, but we're still having fun. That's what it's all about. We're having fun. Hit the bell icon so you're notified when we get a new video out. And love yourselves and love each other, guys. Later. Peace out.